Good evening, ladies. How are you? It's me, Stephanie, your coach, your curator of the amazing Women Who Don't Drink group. So new ladies, welcome. Come and say hi. We love it when you say hi. And please watch the welcome video at the top of the page. It will explain where everything is. There are loads of free resources in this page. If you can't find anything, ask. So we have the 4 everything you need to know about alcohol videos. Super important that you watch these before you do anything. There is a recommended reading list. There's also an app list. There's also the rules, frequently asked questions. I think there's a free hypnotherapy session. There's loads of stuff in there anyway. So I was going to do a Facebook Live about motivation because we're doing March Motivator, and I promise. But I wanted to pick something up that came up on the page. So apologies if you're looking for some motivation. Marion, I wanted to talk about your post about, dealing with thoughts and feelings from your past, your guilt, remorse, shame, all those types of things. Because dealing with this will help with motivation. But ladies, if you were specifically looking for motivation, don't worry, I will come back in, I promise, one day this week, and I'll keep you posted. So I just want to tackle, this can happen. So it can happen while you're drinking, and it can happen when you stop drinking, and it can happen a bit of time later, which is what has happened there. So there's a number of things that happen here. So we all have, let's be really clear, we all have things in our past that we could feel guilt and shame, feel bad about. All of us, everyone. I, as you know, have worked with thousands and thousands of people, and people have told me about their lives, about their pasts, and they're all different, to varying degrees, and everybody's got something there that they're not okay with. It's part of life, okay? So it's part of the rich tapestry of life, is making mistakes and learning from them and moving on, okay? Now, sometimes what can happen with drinking is we get caught in a cycle of drinking because of guilt and shame. Very similar to dieting as well, but the alcohol one feels a bit different. So you feel bad, and because you feel bad, you feel terrible, and you feel like you can't get out of the cycle, and then you drink on those feelings. If that's you, please get some help from a specialist addiction coach or therapist. Obviously, I'm always happy to have a conversation with people. So that you can get out of that cycle, and it can help you to get some alcohol free time and start working towards that, because it is entirely possible, okay? Now, if you are alcohol free, it doesn't matter at what point in your journey you're in, and you're finding yourself doing that thing where you're replaying past events. Now, this can happen the next day, can't it, after a binge? But it can also happen sort of 6 months in, alcohol free. There's no sort of time frame on this stuff. So what you're doing is your brain it's like a movie, isn't it? And you're sifting through past events, and some of those past events aren't going to feel very nice, and you feel negative and horrible, and you start giving yourself a hard time, okay? And you can really get yourself caught up in a loop, okay? What I need you to hear is it is entirely possible to work through these feelings and let them go, okay? Now, on a really, really simple level, they're in the past, you can't change it, but you can change yourself in the here and now. So this is why we talk a lot about, just realised I'm really low, a little, that might be better, sorry. So our past, we can't change our past, okay? But you can change today. You can change your here and now, and you can change your future within reason. I mean, you can change yourself, and you can take action to do that. So where you've had a difficult past and things haven't gone very well for whatever reason, then you show people that you've changed by being the change, okay? It's action that shows people, not words, and that takes time. It takes time to show people. So sometimes it's not just about you giving yourself a hard time. It can be that it's about other people giving you a hard time about past behaviours, okay? And that's really hard, because not only are you giving yourself a hard time, then you've got other people doing it as well. Now, the only way to handle that is to show them, you know, and then if they keep doing it, is to say, look, I've changed, can you see that I've changed? And then if you show them with the action, then usually they're like, yeah, I can see you've changed. And you're like, okay, then please can you support me and celebrate that with me, rather than keep reminding me of my past, because I remind myself of my past. I don't need you to do that as well, okay? But usually we are our own worst enemy. You know, usually it's us that's doing it. So but the first bit is, it's in the past, you can't change it, okay? So there's something about, can you get your head around that? If you can't get your head around that, you know, what are you doing? Sometimes it's about a process and you need to process these things, that's fine, and come out the other side, that's okay. Put a time limit on it. But then there's something about, are you punishing yourself? And this might sound like a bit of an odd question, but ask yourself, are you punishing yourself? And how long are you going to punish yourself for? I can remember working with a lady years and years ago, lovely lady, who would do really well, have these long periods of abstinence, and then get herself in a binge cycle, which would be terribly traumatic for her. And then she would get back on track again. And the reason why she relapsed always was about guilt. And we spent some time sort of unpicking this, and it came down to the fact that she felt guilty because she instigated a divorce, which was years ago, and broke up the family, even though everyone was okay, the kids were okay, no one was blaming her. You know, her ex-partner had moved on, they were good friends, there was, you know, it was all good, there was nothing there. It was her that was giving herself a hard time. And I actually said to her, you know, are you punishing yourself? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, so how long are you going to punish yourself for? And she was like, oh, good question. So I was like, I got her to put a time frame on that, you know, like 2 months, a month, you know, next week, you know, how long are you going to do this? When is it going to be okay? When are you going to stop? Okay. So this is why we talk about being in the moment, being in the here and now, okay? So I really need you to hear this. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we learn. That's how we become well-rounded, experienced, compassionate, loving individuals, because our lives are not perfect. We understand that. We don't stand in judgment, and we know that we're not perfect. We're human beings. And you know, the thing is, as long as you're learning from your mistakes, which I'm sure most of you are because you're here, then that's great. You know, you're doing your best, So it's about leaving your past in your past and being in the here and now, you know, focusing on today. What is happening today? How is your life today? And then if there's anything that needs to be improved, how do you improve that so that you can enjoy your life in the future, okay? Now, one of the biggest things you can do is accept yourself. We talk about acceptance a lot in this group, and I do in this work. You know, we talk about accepting our situations, we talk about accepting other people, accepting life, but really the biggest thing we can do is accept ourselves. You know, when we can accept ourselves and forgive ourselves and let go of our past, that can be really, really powerful and help you to be in the here and now. Now, I'm not just saying this from a therapeutic perspective. I have done this, okay? I've done this personally myself. I've worked really hard at it. And I can tell you that it absolutely can be done with really good coaching, really good therapy. NLP is a powerful technique for this. So I have lots of things in my past that I could spend the rest of my life giving myself a really hard time about. I also have people that remind me from time to time. So there are things that I've done that I'm really not okay with, that, you know, are not, you know, I'm not proud of, that if I spent time thinking about them, I would feel terrible. I really would, and I would go into a negative spiral. But here's the thing, it's done. I can't change it. And the only way I can make that better is by showing those people that I'm a different person, that I'm a better person, and I'm doing my best to make sure I never behave like that ever again. So I'm actually showing them by my actions that I've changed, and that's really, really powerful. Now, I have had lots of conversations with particularly one person who is my eldest son. We've had a lot of conversations about this, and it always comes back down to, have I changed? And he always says yes. And I say, what more do you want me to do? All I can do is say sorry. I love you. You were loved. You didn't go without. I know there are some things that aren't ideal, but you know, I'm doing my best now. And that's as much as we can do with a conversation. It doesn't serve me or anyone else for me to sit in guilt, shame, punishing myself and feeling terrible. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't care. I absolutely do care, and I've done the work and I've processed it and I've felt the feelings, but I'm not hanging on to it. You know, I'm 12 years into my journey. I did the work years ago. You know, I'm very much in the here and now. Who am I in the here and now? Who do I want to be in the future? How can I be the best I can be? You know, and what does that look like in the world? Okay, so ladies, if you are struggling with past things, guilt and shame, I really want you to watch this video and take this on board, and start playing with, you know, are you punishing yourself? How long are you going to punish yourself for? What's the positive intention behind that? Who benefits from that? No one. And then, can you forgive yourself? Can you accept your past? And can you be in the here and now and move on to the future? Okay. If you struggle with that, give me a shout. I do free consultations. You know, I can do this, we can do this piece of work, okay, which probably wouldn't take more than, you know, 4 sessions or so, but I'm more than happy to have a no obligation chat. If you don't want to do that with me, find yourself a really good therapist that can do this work, okay? Any questions, just ask, and I promise I will be back at some point to do the March Motivator. So I have some questions, so let me see where we're at. Hi Laline, hi Lisa, hi Amy, hi Karen, hi Jessie, hi Delia, hi Kirsty, Carol, Brittany. She loves my accent. Brilliant. I love all your accents as well. I love listening to all the different accents. Hi Samantha, hi Sam, hi Sharon, Sarah, Heather. Brilliant. Sarah, loads of ladies. Sarah's really enjoying that. So great. So yeah, if you any questions, please just ask me in the comments. I will see you soon. Thanks ladies.